Hello, welcome back finally to Django Beat channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 2-5-1 progression and its importance. I thought I'd take a step back from picking because it's about to get very involved and we need to get back to some of the harmony first. Okay, so the 2-5-1 progression in jazz, there are two progressions, two chord progressions, two combinations of chords called the 2-5-1 progressions, the major 2-5-1 and the minor 2-5-1. Those are probably the most important little chunks or groupings of chords for learning songs, for learning how jazz works, for making your study time more efficient so you're not just studying everything. You've got to get to grips with these two progressions before you, well, it's almost a must. Now, we're going to start with the major 2-5-1 because we've been looking at the G major bebop scale and the G6 arpeggio that's related to that. And so I thought we'd start in G. So, 2-5-1. Why 2-5-1? Why these numbers? Well, if you take the classical 7-note major scale in G, or in any key, would we use G? Now, if you have those notes and you put a number, now you use the G as 1. Every key has 2 points of gravity, if you want, 2 homes. It has the major and the minor, okay? And the 1 is always the home of the key, of the scale, the place where you finish, the root. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1. 8 and 1, it's sort of the same thing. It's an octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1. Now, if we take each chord, now excluding the 1, we'll look at the 2 and the 5 chords. So 1, 2. We go to the number 2. If we make a chord on this, a 4-note chord on this, we get A minor 7. How do I know that? Right. If you take the 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 7th of any mode, if you start on any position inside the G major scale and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's 8 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7. If you put those notes in that way, you'll notice that the notes are A, C, E, and G. Now, if you actually put them across into a chord, you'll notice that you've got A, G, C, and E. They're in a different order, but it makes that chord. So that's why it's a 2. We'll go into this in more depth another time. 2, that's what you're going to do. So to play the chord, you're going to put your ring finger here on the 5th fret of the D string, and you're going to bar the D, the G, and the B. You're going to bar them with your ring finger, okay, at the 5th fret. There's 3 notes there. The high E should be muted. You're then going to put your middle finger onto the 5th fret of the low E, and you're going to mute the A string so that the A string is muted. That's the A you're playing. Okay? That's your 2 chord. 2-5-1, so 5. So where's the 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's going to be, the chord is going to be based on the D. That's what? G, A, B, C, D. Okay? Okay, so we're going to base it on D. So then we start with D, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'll hear that's an arpeggio. And what happens when you play the notes of an arpeggio together, you get a chord. I won't go into all the background of all this, but this is basically how it sounds. Okay, so it's a D7. What I'm doing there is I've got my index finger on the D here, which is on the 3rd fret of the B string. I have my little finger on the C, which is the 5th fret of the G string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I've got my middle finger on the F sharp, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th fret of the D string. Okay. I've got I'm muting the high E with my index finger, and then I'm putting my ring finger onto the A, and I'm muting the open A. I'm putting it onto the 5th fret of the low E string, and I'm muting the open A. So, okay, so you can hear there's a sort of progression. It's starting to move sort of musically. And we only need one more. We need the 1 chord. Now, there are different ways of doing it. It's the G6 that we're going to use. And the reason why this is different has to do with the bebop scale. And the principles from the bebop scale also apply to those other chords. We don't have time in this video to do that yet. But anyway, just trust me for now. If it sounds good, do it. Right, so this is how I play the G6 chord. I like fifths. I like as Gonzalo Bagara says, I like fifths. I like fifths too, because they're punchy and they're powerful. And so rather than you might see people playing like this. It's quite pretty, but this is better. It's heavier. It's fatter. And how that's played is with your thumb. If you're a classical player, this is going to feel weird. I know, because I played some classical. Now, you get used to it. Thumb on the G, on the 3rd fret there. My hand's coming more against, where it's not like a classical player, not like I used to play. It's not like this, it's different. You have to learn to jump back and forth with Gypsy jazz. Now, thumb here, middle finger on the 5th fret of the A string. That creates your 5th, that power chord, that chunky sound. Now, this is one way of doing it. It's an easier way of doing things. The next thing is your ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string. That's a nice fat chord, so you've got an octave there, a 5th relationship. Then you've got a 3rd here, so that makes it sound major. That's your index finger on the 4th fret of the G string, so now you've got a sort of G chord. It almost looks like a bar chord there, but you're doing it differently. There's a reason why. Little finger then goes into the 5th fret. That's an E there, on the 5th fret of the B string. And for some ears, that doesn't sound quite right. It sounds like it should be. Yeah? The sound you're going to have to get used to. And it does have a very important logic to it. That's 6th there. Now, the reason why I say it's totally different, let's see how much time we've got. Yeah, we've got a little bit of time. Now, okay. When you find the harmony of the 1 chord, don't use the 1, 3, 5, 7 for now. You can do that, but stay away from it for a bit. What we're going to do is I'm going to say when it's the 1 chord, I want you to do 1, 3, 5, 6. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? I want you to go, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and getting it, that's a nice chord, isn't it? That's a G major 7. Instead of using a major 7 chord, I want you to use this. This is a 6, major 6. There's a reason, and it will come to it, but again, it's about time. These videos have a certain length. Right, so we're going to go 1, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those who've actually gone and looked at all the other videos I've done, there aren't that many, you know, go and check them out. You'll notice that what we're doing by adding that in is we're creating the G6 arpeggio, and we're using that note. Now, yeah, we don't have time for it. trust me, just try that. So what we've got is, we go back to La Pompe, a slow one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm doing there is one bar of the 2 chord, 1 bar of the 5 chord, and 2 bars of the first chord, so that you have 4 bars in total. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that's your 2-5-1. Now what we're going to be doing is analysing that and actually making use of the arpeggios and the bebop scales that come out of this in future videos. So that's the major 2-5-1. Get it under your fingers in G major. It's only in G major, but there will be a series I want to try to do soon that covers all the keys to show you 2-5-1s with Gypsy jazz inversions on the chords to help you strum nicely and things like this. But for now, let's get the importance of what it is, why it exists, and then later you can then start to see, you'll see it everywhere. Every song you learn, you'll see 2-5-1, 2-5-1, 2-5-1. Whether it's minor or major, it's there everywhere. Okay, subscribe, click like, share, do all that stuff. Comment, please ask questions. It'd be great to answer some questions. Obviously, if there are no questions, I assume that I've answered them all already, that I'm doing very well. Go ahead, bring me down a peg or two. Nicely, you know, be honest about it. But if you're confused about anything, put it up on the page so other people can see. I only approve comments. I don't want people warring on the page, alright? Anyway, speak soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.